Hello.
How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning from the Pacific Northwest. We've got Charlie joining us here from Denver. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing well. Doing well. How about
Awesome.
yourself,
Great
Mike?
to have you. Great to have you. Welcome everybody in. This is our second official live product tour. This is a chance for people to hop in and see Iterable in action live. We think the product shows real well, so this is a great opportunity to come check it out. We're going to do a live demo with Charlie. After the demo, we'll have an opportunity for people to come in and ask questions and hear directly from one of our experts here on the questions that we've got. We're streaming live right now to both LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you're joining us from LinkedIn, follow the Iterable page to stay up to date with events, content that we've got going on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for video content that we'll publish and streams just like this. Charlie, we've been here about 2.5 years, 3 years, the both of us, a similar amount of time. What's some of the most exciting things that you've seen in the Iterable product in those 2.5, 3 years?
I think the most exciting things are some of our premium AI suite. I'm actually going to be covering part of that today with predictive goals.
Awesome. Yeah, we're excited to see it. And about 2 weeks ago, we had our big event, Activate, announced Nova, which is our future-looking product vision. What's got you excited about what you saw in the Nova announcement?
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting things is actually something that's coming out later this year. That's our homepage Mission Control Center. Really is going to allow you to stay on track to hit your goals and keep your program running smoothly. It's going to continuously monitor your marketing performance and your system health, further optimizing towards business goals, and then also proactively surfacing issues before they could ever impact results.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a lot of fun stuff coming. We're all excited about it internally here. Hope everybody else is. If you're not familiar with Iterable, Iterable is a customer communication platform, a true multi-channel marketing platform. It's AI powered. We're integrated and using email, SMS, push, embedded web messaging. In a couple of weeks here, we're going to have WhatsApp coming and joining the channel mix that we offer out there. We're working with brands that have a ton of data. So if that's you and you're doing multi-channel marketing, Iterable is for you. We work with some great brands like REI, Redfin, Fabletics, NHL, Stanley Black & Decker. So some big names. Obviously use it ourselves internally. So love the tool and excited to dive in. So what Charlie's going to do for us today is walk through some of the core steps and functionalities of activating your data. We're going to start with getting data into the product using Smart Ingest, and then work through how you can improve what you're doing in your programs with predictive goals. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Charlie, and I'll see you when you're done with some questions.
Perfect. Yeah, let me share my screen over here and actually go into the platform. If anyone had joined maybe last week, I think we took a little bit of a dive into a user profile. It's really where we start housing all the data that you might want to be using for personalization, segmentation, automated triggers of various workflows or journeys. But something I've run into a lot within the last year or two are customers that maybe are a little bit leaner, don't always have access to their engineering teams to start piping some of this data into Iterable. So we actually went and co-developed a reverse ETL with HighTouch. So if you're housing all of your customer data, say in a data warehouse, we've created a really seamless and easy way that doesn't require any code to start getting some of that data from the data warehouse into Iterable. So what that actually looks like is going to Smart Ingest here. You can see I've got a couple syncs with 2 various data warehouses set up already. We support most of the major data warehouses at this point, so your engineering team is going to be really happy because it makes their lives easier too to actually get that data in. But the actual setup for this couldn't be easier. I'm actually going to look in this Snowflake sync that I already have set up. And the first thing to do to configure this is dictating what is it that we're syncing. In this case, I'm syncing user profiles with all their demographic data, maybe their interests, things like long-term value, like all the things you might want to be using for personalization within a cross-channel marketing platform. Now, we could also do things like behavioral actions on users, like purchases, update carts, page views on your website, things of that nature that you might want to be tracking, again, for use in personalization, segmentation, triggering of workflows, that type of thing. But we could also do things like if you have a product catalog and you just want to house all that so you can start referencing it for dynamic product recommendations, we can also sync that type of data too. Then at that point, it's just saying, what are the fields that we want to bring in? So I've got my Snowflake table. It's delineated by someone's email, by specific users. I'm just mapping that to an email with an Iterable. And then from there, with drop-down menus, I can start pulling in those fields that might be within that table. Real benefit here is it's really easy for engineering to go in and stand this up. But also later on, if marketers determine, hey, there's an additional field that we want, instead of having to file a ticket and rely on engineering to maybe get back to you within that week, as long as that field is within that Snowflake table or your data warehouse table, it's very easy to go in and add that. So something like lifetime value, I can quickly add in here, run the sync, set this up to be maybe running on a daily basis, or maybe even like 15 minutes. So you have really up-to-date data. Automatically, we're going to start pulling that in. So from a marketing perspective, like marketers can go in here and decide there's new fields that they want to bring in so that they can start housing on that user profile. So pretty special. I think it really eases that transition from not only onboarding, but continued introduction of new data into your platform. And that's all great. Now we have like this wealth of data. Like that's Iterable's superpower, is being able to bring in massive amounts of data, but then actioning off of it. Like sometimes you can get a little bit lost in the weeds. And maybe you have like specific goals that you're trying to align your marketing programs to. We released a feature, as I mentioned before, a little while ago called Predictive Goals. And what this is any business specific goal that your marketing motions might have, we can start creating like modeling against to create new audiences to predict who's going to perform on an action. So you can see I've got some like common business goals here. I'm actually going to zero in on maybe likelihood to purchase. I already created this before, but it's really just dictating what is that goal? What do you want it to be called? Like a lot of our AI tools, it is a living, breathing score on each individual user that lives on that user profile. So it's updated on a weekly basis. You can determine who's likely or unlikely to perform that goal. In this case, I'm predicting in the next 30 days, what are the users that are going to make at least one purchase of over $100? Pretty simple, but like obviously you can add more criteria here, change what those events are or those user properties that you're predicting. And then just like I mentioned before, we're using like modeling to determine like what users in our user base are also likely to perform that action. So I could do like most likely to convert or least likely to convert or any custom range. Like I have selected here, maybe kind of that mid to higher percentile. But what's really, really powerful about predictive goals is it's not just like a black box score or an AI model that we're saying like, this is the score. We're actually giving you insights into what's going into that prediction. Like what are the user fields, the behavioral actions of that user that make us believe that this user could also potentially convert on that goal. And then secondly, we also show you the events and fields that are most likely to increase that goal outcome as well as decrease that goal outcome. Now, candidly, like this part right here is the most important aspect of this, because this gives you insights into maybe other campaigns to start running to drive those customers in the top of funnel, or even other campaigns to start running in order to like decrease the potential for that person to not convert on that goal. Really gives you those insights and understanding of what this prediction is. Essentially, it's a mini data science team in a box that's super marketing friendly. And that's all great, but we have this prediction. We can then actually use this in segmentation. So cutting of lists. You can see here, I've got this pulled up for those 5,000 users that fit within that band of people that are likely to actually convert on that goal, maybe discluding that top 10% that are probably going to convert anyways, so that maybe I could start sending like a promotional offer. We could use that, say, in an automated workflow through our Journey Studio. Now, in this instance, I've got a completely blank journey, but we're also using one of our other AI tools, Journey Assist, to say in this journey, I want to trigger this via someone maybe updating their cart, right? But then I want to send a very specific offer to those users that fall below that 90% likelihood to actually convert with maybe a coupon code or some type of carrot we can dangle for them to actually get them to convert on that purchase. So with a click of a button using natural language, I can actually go in and create this journey, create all the tiles for you, triggering via that update cart, making sure that people are kind of aligning within that purchase score, and then sending them off a very specialized offer. Right now it's just SMS, but maybe right now it's just email, but maybe I want to add in like SMS, push in-app, starting next week, WhatsApp with those offers. So it really gives the power back to marketing teams to get the data they need to activate it and then action off of it. That's what I had planned to show for today. Mike, any questions I can help answer? I think you're muted.
Got a couple questions for you, Charlie. Conveniently, one on each of the features that you highlighted. So when we talk about bringing like anything data ops related, we think about the resources and the partnerships that exist to make that happen. Smart Ingest is built to make that easier. So the question I have here for you is, once you get Smart Ingest integrated with Iterable, how involved do the data ops teams need to stay?
It's pretty standoff, candidly. Once that's set up, if say in the future you wanted to add new data points that weren't necessarily within a table within your data warehouse, more often than not, the data is already in that data warehouse. So it's a matter of merging kind of that row or column over into that specific table. And then marketing can go and say, hey, add this into Iterable. Like, it's stupid easy.
Love that. Love that. And then the second question around predictive goals that I have for you here, it seems like some magic, but magic usually takes some pre-work. Like, what's important to making predictive goals work well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the more data, the better. Like, the more informed insights we can start giving you with those additional data sets. Typically, we ask for 3 to 6 months of data to have a strong prediction. Not to say that we couldn't make a prediction before that, but to have a really strong prediction with keen insight into who's actually likely to convert or not convert on that goal is like 3 to 6 months of data.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for those of you that joined us live. This recording will be available on both of our platforms, YouTube and LinkedIn, to check out later. We'll see you guys in a month. Thank you.
Thanks.